gonna do you like you would do you. Nobody will be able to treat you like you would treat you. Have you ever heard people say there's no place like your own or no place like home? That's a true statement, bro. I can still rock with that statement from day one, bro. That's like going and staying into somebody else's house. You got to abide by their rule, and these are the condition of slavery. That's all I'm talking about. I'm just relating to the condition of slavery. Um, when it comes to people saying things like, and I said this in my other video, there is no love like a mother's love, which we have been conditioned in the ways of Esau, the so-called white man. I'm not going to sit up here and just put all of the onus on the so-called my people. I can't do that. It all goes back to goddamn slavery. That bullshit. All right. There's no look. If you go live in somebody else's house, whether if it's a family member or whatever, if you go live in their house, which I don't doubt in my mind, nobody wants you to disrespect their home. Okay, I get that out the way now. Nobody wants their home disrespected. I get that. I'm not trying to like say that I'm not mad at them for wanting rules in their house and wanting stuff, certain things laid down and this and that and the third. But I'm talking about it from another angle, like dependent upon it, and like being dependent and stuff like that. You got to come in a certain time, like, okay, which if you living in someone else's house, they have a right. It's to set rules to what they want. You see what I'm saying? But I want y'all to try to walk with me and just try to picture and visualize in your mind what I'm trying to say, convey in this video. Just think about being in this modern day prison system and jail, modern day jail system, which is modern day slavery. You got to go to bed when they say go to bed. That's what I'm trying to convey it to. You got to go to sleep when they say. You got to eat when they say eat breakfast for the most part. Then you ain't got no other choice is to go out and work and all that kind of stuff, working like a slave, a convict in the damn prison field and all that kind of stuff, like my family's did. You know what I'm saying? So when it's like that, when you're confined and restricted, you can't do what you want to do. You see what I'm saying? You can't. And that's why I say nobody is going to do you like you. Just like I can come out here and walk and go where I need to go and do what I need to do, like when I want it, when I get ready. Just imagine if I was confined, which I don't want to be, confined to something, couldn't get out and do this and that. And I say, hey, I need somebody to do it. It ain't going to be like you would do it. Never. It ain't going to never be, even with spending money and stuff like that. It's not going to be, it ain't nothing like going out and working, which I still have to work for the so-called white man and do all that type of stuff. It ain't nothing. Cause see, thing about it, when treating yourself, when you have money and stuff like that, which we don't have it like that, so-called white people got it like that. They children, they families don't have to worry about suffering for nothing because they own the world. This is their heaven that they in. We're not in our heaven. When you have money, I'm just making an example. When you have money and you like, damn, I want this here and I want that and I want this. You ain't got to worry about answering to nobody else or whatever because you freely made that. Went out and worked for that and earned that. Worked for that yourself as a slave. So nobody can tell you how to spend it, how much to put on it, and how much not to put on it. Nobody can tell you that. You see what I'm saying? They can't tell you because, hey, you free, you spend like you want. You ain't got to worry about, once you spend the money on that, you ain't got to worry about going to nobody and say, hey, I spent this and I spent that. Why did you know we had such and such, you know we had this, you know we had bills, you know we had this, and you went, although how much, you got to take the receipt and take that back. You ain't got to worry about that because you know It's yours. It's like you trying to rent to own something, right? There is nothing like your own, even if you rent it. It's living with, being with, relying upon of whether if it's family member or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still talking about how we've been conditioned into slavery. And you say you want this and you that, or I'm giving you this much money to do this, and I'm giving you this much money to do this here. Now you can't spend over, because if you spend over, then they're gonna hold you reliable, even if the cards or something, or if something come up missing in what you're doing, if you done spent over amount what you should have spent or whatever, then you got the answer to them. And then if you tell them, oh, well, I bought a little bit more extra this here and that and that and the third. I didn't tell you to spend the whole thing. I told you to do the you ain't got to worry about that. But if you on your own and you spend something and you do something and you spend what you want or whatever, you ain't got to worry about you. When you go to bed, you bought what you want. You ain't got to worry about nobody saying, hey, why did you do this and why did you do that? Da, 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 da. You ain't got to worry about no instant, what they call rent-to-own person coming to your house, knocking on your door saying you owe this in. If you can't, we came to pick up your furniture because you owe a couple of you about a couple of months behind, you this and that. We got to come pick up our property or whatever because you refused, you didn't do this and you did. It's more like if you stand on your own, it's basically like it's paid for. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? When you living on your own, it's like you ain't got to worry about that. You ain't got to worry about answering to nobody, to a degree. You ain't got to worry about, because you're not confined. You know what I mean? And y'all get what I'm saying? And so I guess I'm only talking about what I'm relating to. What I'm just basically just putting out here what my experience, the real deal. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing that I'm telling you or somebody's people that ain't never been in my situation or never been in this situation. Then they can't. The so-called white man definitely cannot relate to this here. They can't relate to this here because how you gonna relate to something that you never had or that you wasn't born in. If you wasn't never born into this shit, into this struggle, you can't come telling me nothing about what it feels like. Because at the end of the day, your ass will be consumed. The so-called white man, you will be consumed. So-called white man, Esau, the devil the Bible speaks of, you will be consumed. You cannot relate to none of this shit. So, ain't nothing you can say. They can't listen to this thing and then it rang a bell like, oh, I know my people been through that. I've been through that. No, because it's not, just like the Bible. The Bible is not talking about the white man. That's how you know who's the people of that book and who ain't the people of that book. Because of the stuff, simple things like as far as that when it comes to struggles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They can't relate to that. So, at the end of the day, I'll be back, y'all. We gonna talk. I'm gonna go ahead and get this up on my hand. All right.